up a chair and let's chill. Let's party, let's talk, and let's build. Yeah, alright, let's talk over drinks.
Welcome to another episode of Talks Over Drinks. My name is Corey Fauconier. My partner is always the guy, Markel Prines. What's going on?
Everything is everything, bro.
We had to come out the closet on him this time. You know,
man, it's been a long time.
So what happens with Talks Over Drinks is we go for a spell and we don't do any shows, and then social media starts pinging and buzzing, and the wife and the girlfriends be like, y'all need to do a show. For me, I think Markel and I have sat on the side long enough that folks realize that we're going to come and we're going to bring you the other side of the story, stuff that you don't usually get. The mainstream media is awful. They just trying to keep stuffing you full of stuff that really isn't true. And a lot of people go through this life plugged into the matrix and just kind of happening along and believing anything that they come out the table with. Sometimes you got to do your own research, and that's what kind of brought me and Markel together to do this in the first place. We just got tired of the BS and crap that you get on the day-to-day. And sometimes you got to unplug from the matrix and come to the table and do your own research and do your own fact-finding. Absolutely. And go out there and have that conversation with people. So it's good to see you. What's your thought of the day?
Man, of course, you know, we got to do it like in traditional ways. And just to piggyback off what you said, when you own your own stuff, I'm just going to add that little tidbit before I go into the food for action. When you own your own stuff, you can take off and come back and pick it up whenever you want. You don't have those pressures.
Yep.
So today's food for action is man's greatest gift and curse is the manifestation of an idea whose time has come. So take that for what it is. The interpretation I get for that is keep working at what you're doing. And, you know, progress comes slowly but surely. Sometimes it might come fast, but you don't want that quick thing. But just keep working at your craft, and a great idea that has its time. That time has come, will come, and it'll manifest. And that's when you'll get what you deserve.
Word.
I know we got a lot of great guests.
Yeah,
today.
we got, so this is the political episode, and y'all know I'm a political nerd, so this is my thing. Our first guest is a conservative Republican running for Richmond City Council. And if any of y'all, you know, Richmond is close to home for us. You know, Markel lives in Midlothian and I live in Henrico, but Richmond is close because that's where I work. And a lot of things are going on politically, and everybody's kind of getting along to do the same thing and go the same way. And our first guest is a close friend of mine. I met him through the community, and he's standing up for what he thinks is right. And it's an alternative voice. And I think a lot of times people don't respect you because you're coming with a different voice. But we'd like to welcome to the hot seat, Mike Dickinson is running for First District City Council, Richmond, Virginia. Mike, you can come on in, sir. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right. What's up, man?
Right.
Good to see you.
We're gonna do the unselfish. You know what I'm saying? Plug for yourself.
Campaign plug.
In case y'all don't
got
know.
that in there.
Mike D.
Mike D. Pardon me, Mike.
It's all right.
Sir, so I know you and I have originally connected through Anthony.
Yes.
Shout out Anthony and what's it, Signscapes?
Signscapes.
Shout out Signscapes.
Yeah.
We'll have to have Anthony on. He was on our first
definitely.
series of shows back in 2016.
I get tired of seeing his commercials. You know, the
Yeah.
ECPI
Yeah, he
commercials.
does the ECPI
all
commercials.
on
Yeah, he's
YouTube
on
and
that.
everything.
Yeah, man.
So
But what prompted you to get off the couch one day and say you had to run for city council, and what changed you? Because I know at one time you were a Democrat, and that way of thinking didn't work for you anymore. So tell our viewers what helped to motivate you and what helped to change you.
Well, I got off the couch and I decided to get involved this year especially because our city is just a disaster.
Okay.
We have no leadership. We have no voices on city council. Everybody thinks the answer to everything is more government, more money, let's tax the taxpayer, let's spend more money, instead of getting down and getting things done.
Understood.
At the end of the day, we have nothing, we have no accountability. So the city spends the money on stuff and they get no results, then their whole idea is, well, we got to spend more money. So they go and get more, they want to raise taxes, they want to do this, more government in your life. to spend more money to get no results again, and the cycle just repeats itself again and again and again.
Okay.
And we have no leadership. We have no leadership at the city council. You listen to them, and they all will speak and say different things, but at the end of the day, well, I'm going to go ahead and vote for this. I'm going to go ahead and push, advance this. And that's not how things get done. That's not how good government and good business should be run.
Okay.
I've said we need to run the city of Richmond like a business, where there's a budget, there's accountability, and there's results. So you can say at the end of the day, we spent $10 million and we accomplished this, this, and this. Not we spent $10 million and things are worse than they were before.
Right. I listened to one of the forums electronically with the whole COVID-19. I know everybody doesn't want to be in close proximity. What I heard was that they want to do studies.
Right.
They wanted to bring people into the city from outside the city to conduct the study.
Right.
And then they wanted to spend money on the study.
Right.
But then they still weren't dealing with the problem which brought the study out in the first place.
Right.
Give me a little bit of a background about what you think the city should tackle first, and what types of things we need to change in order to make progress.
So the city, they come up with problems to solve other problems. That's how they deal with things. We're going to make a new problem to fix this old problem. I'm from the world of business where you make adjustments quickly.
Understood.
If you've got a bartender that's stealing, you don't sit and take a public opinion poll and wait 6 months. You jump in there and you fire them and you put someone in there who can get the job done. Okay. You don't sit there and wait and let things persist and have study. It's a waste of time, effort, and energy when you just make the correction then and there instead of having to waste time and money. So I think in the city of Richmond, that our number one thing we need to fix immediately are schools. Okay. Every 4 years we have the same debates about schools. The schools are bad. How are we going to fix the schools? How are we going to get kids to be able to empower themselves with the education they need to not only graduate high school but go to college or get a trade or move on and make it?
Right.
And so look at what we've done the last 4 years. When Mayor Stoney came in, he paid all this money for a superintendent from DC schools, which also are on the same level as Richmond schools.
Right.
Not very successful. And then the last 4 years, our graduation rate is down, our testing scores are down, and it's just no results at the end of the day. We're paying more now to a school superintendent than ever, and we've gotten no results out of it. It's like, you hire a guy to coach a football team because you never won, and then 4 years later, you still haven't won.
Okay.
Yeah. Right? To me, that's just the way it has to be. There needs to be accountability. Somebody needs to be held accountable. This year, look at the fiasco that happened this year when schools reopened.
Right.
We had 6 months from when they closed in March to when they were going to reopen the second week of September.
Right.
And in 6 months, the superintendent, we're 10,000 laptops short. How did that happen? How was that like not the number one most pressing item on his list of things to get done? To me, that would have been like the number one circled thing to get done.
If you had the power, if you were elected,
that would be my question.
Right? If you were elected, what would be the first thing that you would do for the schools?
So we have the first thing that I would do immediately to fix the schools, school vouchers, school choice. We've got a lot of work to do in our schools in the city of Richmond, and it's not fair to the kids that are in the schools now to be stuck in them and have to ride it out until we fix it.
Right.
We've got, literally years of work. We have schools that are falling apart. They have, rats and mice. They've got holes in the ceiling. They're falling apart. And we can't be expected to say, well, we're going to work on it, but keep going to school. We've got to get the kids that want an opportunity now to give them a lifeline so they can get out. And then we'll figure out and we'll work on the schools. But in the meantime, the kids that are in them now shouldn't be stuck there. They should have an opportunity to go out. And I know that, the school board doesn't like that idea because it'll hurt their budget. Right. I know education advocates may not like that idea because, you can't just give vouchers or school choice. But it's all the same thing at the end of the day. It's accountability. If our school system is so messed up it can't get the job done, and we're spending more and more money,
right,
then at some point you just have to say it's not fair to the kids,
Right.
and give them a way out.
Right.
So to add on to that question, what are your views on homeschooling? Because I meet a lot of parents that feel as though they can do a better job teaching their kids from home.
I thought we should have addressed that this year. My thought on that this year is that with the schools being closed and the kids being at home, we should have taken money out of the school system budget and sent it to the parents. Because so many parents right now are having their lives disrupted and their budgets disrupted. Most two-parent homes, even one-parent homes, one parent has to work during, some couples, both parents work during the day. And right now, someone has to stay home with the kids during the day, or they have to pay somebody. So you're losing an income. You're either losing an income or you're having to pay someone, which is taking money, more money out than usual to sit there during the day and babysit or watch the kids.
Right.
So I thought that the mayor should have been proactive and taken money out of the school system budget and said, hey, if we're not going to have the schools open, we're going to give money to the parents so they can have the resources they need to stay at home during the day.
I recently took a couple classes at John Tyler Community College, and it was the first time I've been returning to college since the 90s. And what I found is that especially my instructor and my classmates made the online learning environment better for me. Right. I had somebody, if I had a problem, I knew my instructor was always available, email, text message, cell phone call. I didn't understand. I had an issue. I wanted to bounce some questions off of my instructor or my classmates. Everybody was available. So I kind of feel like we need to go into the 21st century, so to speak. That's right. And some people, going to a brick and mortar school, it may have worked for us. It may have worked for our parents. It may have worked for our grandparents. But for this generation of young people who can do all kinds of things with a computer and a cell phone and a camera, whatever, they may learn differently.
Right.
So I think that from my step parenting, once my youngest stepson, Elliot, found something he liked in school, he excelled. And all through his time, it was like us trying to fit the round peg in the square hole, proverbially, you see what I'm saying? But once he got to a school where he was doing electricity, and, the light went off, and then he got straight A's, he did all his work, he got an internship, like he started doing well. So I felt like in that experience for me as a parent, I felt like I was pushing him in the wrong direction. Like he had to find his way. And once he did that, we had no other problems out of him. So
real quick, just to touch on that point, that goes back to my starting out statement. There's been so many times on the show where I've given one of these statements and I come back and think about it like that fits perfectly. But that's a prime example of when ideas time has come. So he got into a position where he found something that he likes, is electrical engineering, right? So he wouldn't have known about what he likes, but it was his time to find what he was supposed to do. And that's what he's great at. So we continue on. I just wanted to interject in that because I always like that when things come together. And I want all the viewers, I always tell you guys as you're listening, listen for more than what's being said, but listen to what's under what's being said and what you can take for yourself in your life and to make improvements and move forward.
Indeed. Taxes. I know that there have been some increases in taxes, and during that forum that I had the opportunity to listen to, a lot of things were like, we need more money, we need to raise taxes. What's your perspective on the taxes that have been raised already and how you would carry on should you be the fortunate one to win our upcoming election?
I think that we need lower taxes across the board.
Okay.
Finding money to spend money is not any way to run a government. And we need to let people have their money that they work for as much as possible. Now, with our budget, our city budget is bloated heavily. I mean, 20% is probably bloated. Okay. We're paying $500,000 for a press office for someone to sit in and do what we're doing right now to make press releases and shoot videos. $500,000 is what the taxpayers are paying that. Right. We're paying $850,000 for utility commercials to show people the number to call for the gas lines.
Right.
You know, like they don't have a cell phone where they can Google gas line. We're doing that. We're spending too much money on too much bloat. We need to cut that all out as much as possible.
Okay.
As far as taxes go, we have in 2018, Councilman Addison, my opponent, voted for the restaurant tax, which put an undue burden on restaurant owners, singling them out to pay more for taxes, for your meals tax.
Okay.
So when you go to eat in Richmond City, it costs a lot more than it does if you go to Henrico or Chesterfield or anywhere else,
Okay.
which burdens people that have small businesses. It's not, you know, McDonald's, at Burger King, it's not going to really hurt them that much, but for a small mom and pop operation or, you know, entrepreneur, it's going to hurt them because their prices are more expensive than outside the city.
Right.
And especially for people in the city that have limited incomes, it costs more to eat in the city than it does outside the city.
Okay.
In 2019, the city also thought it would be wise that we're going to put a special tax on tobacco.
Oh, yeah.
You know, once again, targeting tobacco. Why are we targeting people that smoke tobacco? Why are we saying they're the ones that have to pay for all these specialties that we have?
Right.
We need to cut we need to repeal the restaurant tax. We need to repeal the tobacco tax. We need to freeze the property tax. I mean, the property tax, it's crazy. It's crazy. My property tax went up 14% this year.
Wow.
14%.
With the increased tax revenue that the city has pulled in from tobacco, restaurant, and real estate.
Right.
Can you tell us, Mike,
What difference?
what difference has that made?
They haven't got anything accomplished. They haven't gotten anything accomplished with it. It's once again, it's one of these things where they make big promises. We're going to fix the schools. We're going to fund this. And nothing ever comes of it. Nothing ever gets done. It gets, well, it's a 30-year plan. 30 years.
That's a long
so
time.
a kid that's in first grade now or kindergarten
Right.
or someone that just had a kid today, 30 years from now, they're not going to get any, that kid's not going to get any benefit out of it.
Right.
So is that fair? Is that fair that we're basically saying, oh, it's okay, we're fixing them. They're not going to be all fixed for 30 years, but just hang in there. You know, maybe your kids will be the ones that
Right.
get the
We got a
benefit
plan, but
of the
not
new
for now.
schools.
Right.
So, and we just end up sending kids out there with nothing, with you know, very little. But the taxes, we've got to cut the taxes down because people, they want to live where they can keep their money, they can use their money to do things that benefit them, small businesses, homeowners. And that is just critical. I mean, we can't just continue to think the answer to everything is more taxes, more taxes, more taxes. Because it's not. We have to run the city like a small business.
Understood.
I mean, a small business, as a small business owner, you watch every penny.
Right.
You sit there, before you write the check, it hurts. It hurts when you have to pay the monthly sales tax. It hurts because you're like, why am I paying the government, you know, $11,000 this month? And it hurts your hand to have to sign the check.
Right.
When it's your business, it hurts. You know, when you know the water line, bro, I got to pay the plumber $300. I wasn't expecting to pay that. It hurts to sign the check.
Right.
And we need to run our local government like it's a small business, like it's your money,
Right.
and watch every penny of it.
Final questions?
My final question would be just to tag along with that. Thinking as a business owner, I'm big into entrepreneurship. So to tie in education and running the country as a business, I feel as though everyone should have specialized training. So let's say in the example of you being a business owner, you're going to train your employees, you're going to train them the way that you want them trained. There's not going to be a 4-year program. You're not going to spend all this money that's unneeded to learn stuff that you really don't need. You're going to be specialized to get the job done, to teach what's needed. What programs, or do you have any suggestions or plans for implementing programs for entrepreneurs, people that want to start out home businesses? Me specifically, I'm more of a home business type of guy, not a traditional brick and mortar. But do you have any ideas or plans for like small business entrepreneurs that might want to work from home and step into the 21st century, really?
Yeah, I think, and I would like to see mentorship programs with Richmond City school kids and business owners and community leaders. I would like to see us do more to try to fix some of the federal programs that it's easier for new immigrants to America to get grants to open businesses than it is people who've been in America their whole lives.
Understood.
And if you look along like the whole street, even if you look down the JD corridor, it's a lot of first generation immigrants who run the stores here, even though the neighborhood is predominantly, different cultures, African American, white, but the stores are predominantly ran by first generation immigrants from Asia and other countries.
Right.
So it's easy for them to get the grants, but it's hard for people who've been here their whole lives to get the grants.
Right.
And we've got to fix that.
Understood.
We've got to fix that because business ownership, buy-in, it makes a difference. And I mean, when you have something that's yours, you work and contribute, and it helps you. It helps your neighborhood. It helps everybody involved, and it really is the ties that keep everything together. If you look back in the 40s and 50s and 60s, it was a neighborhood barbershop. It was a neighborhood store, and people knew each other. Where if you came to the store and people, if you didn't have enough money to buy a loaf of bread, they would just say it's okay, take it, and pay next week. And they knew you. They had that relationship. Right. Walmart doesn't have that. Walmart doesn't know you from a man on the moon.
Right, you're right.
But it used to be neighborhood grocery store, neighborhood stores, and we need to do more to empower people to be able to open their own business, and whatever it is, whether it's bar, grocery store, gas station, whatever, and do it to help Americans, not for. I mean, and it's okay, first generation immigrants. We can still continue to help them, but we should do more to empower the people that were here and that are here.
Understood. If you had 30 seconds to speak to people from the First District, Mike, what would you tell them?
I'm a thinker of ideas. I like to be combative. I like to be aggressive. I'm not going to back down from anybody. I'm going to go to city council and fight. And if you're tired of the status quo, if you're tired of leadership that goes along to get along, if you're tired of people who just want to be elected, and you want someone to go there and turn things upside down and fight, I'm the guy. So vote for Mike Dickinson.
Social media handles for everybody that's watching?
www.votedickinson.com, and Facebook is The Real Mike Dickinson.
All right. Awesome. This is Talks Over Drinks. Corey Fauconier, Markel, Prines, Mike Dickinson. First District City Council, Richmond, Virginia. Y'all look them up. Y'all don't have that much time, but do the right thing with your vote. Talks Over Drinks. Cheers.
Hey, all right, let's talk over drinks.
Talks over drinks. Talks over drinks. We can have a conversation. You can say what you think. I'm 40 plus and still rocking to this hip hop beat. Bring it live and direct right here from Broad Street. I pray that my lyrics do find you well, cause it's me, MSB, and a guy named Markel. The White Jason, he fan. Invite indie musicians coming straight slam. I got swerving beat sounds on the ones and twos, and together, united, we gon' bring it to you. We the RVA Rap Pack crew. So take your pick, Comcast or YouTube. No disrespect, I don't mean to be rude, but these other talk shows can't do what we do. I stay with the lyrics, some call me Dread Dude. Difference of opinion should not be called sin. Tell the truth, yo Dread, where you been? Invest a few minutes, I hope you tune in, yo. Politics, economics, education. These are topics across the whole entire nation. Keep it 100, we gon' talk about them, yo. Bring your kids, tell your mama and a friend, yo, it's Toast Over Drinks. Toast Over Drinks. We can have a conversation. You can say what you think.
Let's talk over drinks. Pull up a chair and let's chill. Let's party, let's talk and let's build. Alright, let's talk over drinks. We over here keeping it real, saying exactly how we feel. Come on, let's talk over drinks. Pull up a chair and let's chill. Let's party, let's talk and let's build. Alright, let's talk over drinks.